Greetings, welcome to our series of weekly devotionals where we take a look at one of the readings for this upcoming Sunday and offer some thoughts for reflection. This week we're looking at a passage in Paul's first letter to the Corinthians, chapter 8. You know, I like to think of myself as a pretty humble person. You know, I think that, whereas some people think of pastors as being more holy or sacred than other people in the congregation, I know that that's not true, that, I'm no more holy or, closer to God than anyone else. And so I like to think of myself anyway as being humble. But I also admit that I'm sort of a ham. I like to perform and play music and be up in front of people. And, my brother always sort of goofs on me and says, when I suggest that I'm humble and talk about humility, he always says something to the effect of, yeah, you're great. You're great at humility. You are so super awesome at humility. When it comes to humility, you are the best. There's no one better than you. Of course, having a little fun at my expense. But I think it's true. If you talk a lot about humility and being humble, it probably means that you're not. And I think that's true in other ways as well. Those who are constantly seeking accolades and affirmation and seeking pats on the back, well, it's probably because they have some deep-seated insecurities about being good enough. Those who are chauvinists or who discriminate on the base of race or whatever form of discrimination, those who go around acting as if they're superior to others, it's probably because deep inside they feel, or they're afraid of feeling, inferior to others. And I believe that this is apparent in this passage that Paul writes in chapter 8, verse 2. He says, anyone who claims to know something does not yet have the necessary knowledge. So those who are going around in the community of Corinth claiming to have this special knowledge, well, they're really not as smart as they say they are. And in fact, later in this letter to the Corinthians, Paul writes that he does not know God through knowledge, through wisdom, but he knows God through Christ crucified. He knows God through weakness and vulnerability. And, knowing stuff or feeling superior is not really the most important thing, as he writes in verse 3. But anyone who loves God is known by him. And so more important than knowing about God is knowing that you're known by God, that you're loved and accepted and saved, not through your accolades and successes and knowledge and abilities, but indeed through your vulnerability and humility, that it is through those things that we know that no matter what, we are loved and accepted by God. So knowing God, knowing about God, much more important to know that we are known by God. Amen.